וכי נפשי es Hashem. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Page 67. Mitzvah Hashem, today we're going to finish the perek, the sixth perek of Shabbat. This fascinating page is dealing first with lechashim, which means, again, in the time of the Talmud, it was a different formulation of prayer and combination of different sgulot in order to heal people. We said many times that many of them is not by any means a reference to our days, but we get the point of foundation, such as Darkei Mori, something that we should not follow the path of the idol worshippers. And also we concluded in several halachot in regard to caring on Shabbat. Amar Rav Huna leishtei tilta leitei shiv'a silvei mishiv'a diklei. It was an illness called in Hebrew shachefet. It's some type of tertian fever. In those days, it's an illness that afflicted about every 3 days. So here they said a person should take 7 thorn from 7 palm trees, ושבעה ציווי משבעה קשורי, ושבעה סיכי משבעה גשורי, ושבעה כתמי משבעה תנורי, ושבעה אפרי משבעה סנרי, which means it's running by 7 number 7, which means 7 silver from 7 beams, 7 pegs from 7 bridges, 7 type of ashes from 7 ovens, 7 type of dust from 7 door sockets, etc. It's just bringing 7 and 7 and 7. It's all a combination, very special combination, again applying those days, but you see how they formulated it with a lot of thinking. ושבעה כופרי משבעה הרבה, ושבעה בוני כמוני, ושבעה ביני מדיקנה דקל בסבא, which means that they combine it with 7 hairs from the bread of an old dog and put all together, ולציירנו בחלל לבית שרבה בנירה ברכה, and let him bind it in the opening of the neckline of his garment with a thread made of hair. So basically this is a sgula. This is some type of ancient way of some type of remedy for this tertian, for shachefet sickness. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, and here we're bringing a sentence from the Torah. Leishta tzelmirta, he said, for healing of burning fever, lishkal sakina de kula parzela, should take a knife that made entirely from iron. Veleiza lehecha dehecha vardina, he should go to a place that they have this type of a bush.
Thorn bush.
Thank you, thorn bush. Veliktar be'nira barka, he put go around him a place, a string of hair to it, and he goes there in 3 days, and he should say Yoma kama lichruk beipurta. He said on the first day, he said, let him curve the bush a little and recite. It's like a word for the angel. He said, V'leima vayira malach Hashem elav belabat esh. And he said that an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire. So there is a very famous Rambam and Adam Meforshim that asked, the GEMARA said in Shavuos and Tractate Shabbat that the person should not use a pesukim, a sentences from Torah, for some type of healing, and it's like a nichush, etc. So there is several opinion. There are those like the Rif and the Rosh that hold. It's in a Sanhedrin Kufalev, Sanhedrin 101, that say that if it's a life-threatening situation like this type of illness, like kadachat, so you allowed to be healed with the word of Torah. The Meiri said it's all depend. If this is the essence of the healing, then it's a problem. But if it's a part of the healing, then it's okay. So what did he say? Lemachar lichruk beporta. So the second day he should push this bush. Veleima, he should say again another pasuk. Vayomer Moshe asur ana ve'er'eh. Lemachar lechrok bapurta velema vayar Hashem kisar lirot. In other words, he takes these psukim in the Torah, which we believe the Torah is a Torah of healing, and he used it to heal the sick. Amar le Rav Acha brei de Rava le Rav Ashi, velema vayomer al tikra valom. He should say what Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, should not come close here. So in other words, the sick person should say to the disease, to the sickness, do not come close to me. Ela. So the GEMARA basically changed that type of lachash. Lachash meaning formula of prayer. Leyoma kama leima. The first day he should say Vayira malach Hashem elav, and the angel of Hashem appeared to him. Vayomer Moshe. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, I should go and check to see why is this the bush is not burning. And the following day he should say, Vayar Hashem kisar lirot. And Hashem saw that he's really stopped to see. Hashem said, you should not come closer.
Isn't lachash also a whisper?
Yes, but it's a good point. Yeah. But here lachash meaning an ancient formula of healing, like taking a combination of different psukim and made out of those psukim a formulation of healing for sick people. Using the Torah as a formulation of sick people. For example, why Moshe Rabbeinu was chosen? He was a shepherd. Yes, issue of delivery of speeches, right? Hashem chooses this. One of the reasons it's because it was a burning bush. Every single person passed by and they didn't bother. They have to run to work. They have to run to make money. They have issue with the stocks. They don't bother with that. There was one fellow that stopped by and said, oh, why this bush is burning? What's going on? Why? And he stopped by and he stopped his mundane, occupation, and he stopped to see. So God said, oh, this fellow I want to be the leader. Right? One who looks at life in a very different perception, look at it in a more spiritual sense, the action of life, the happening of life. Madua lo yiv'ar asneh? Why? How come the bush is not burning? Here we're taking these fascinating psukim in the Torah, and as you know, we believe that the Torah is a tree of life, bringing healing to a person. Rav Shach used to tell us, Torah magne umatzel. The Torah is a protection, right?
Etz chaim le'elu ochazin ba.
Etz chaim le'elu machazikim ba.
Machazikim ba.
Yes. So since the Torah is a protection, so therefore they use a certain psukim to heal, in order to heal people in those psukim. V'chi pasakle, and when the disease stop, litate ve'lifsekei, he should cut off or he should move the down that siach, that little bush, and he put it close to the ground. V'leima hachen, he should say as follows: Hasne, hasne, the bush, the bush. Lav mishum degvihat mikol ilanei ashrei akadosh baruch hu shchintei alach. Not because you are higher than all the other trees, the Holy One blesses here, rest His divine presence upon you. Quite the contrary. Ela mishum demaichad mikol ilanei. But because the opposite, that you are shorter, you are smaller, you are express in a sense a humbleness to other trees, God dwell His divine providence upon you. And then he continued and said, V'chi heched achamitei eshta lachananya mishalel v'azariah. The same way as the Rashash tells us that in the story of Daniel, that the Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah was commanded by Nebuchadnezzar to go to the fire, and they survived. So the same way as the fire did not burn them, Ve'arikat min kadamoi, the fire ran away from them. They said in the book of Daniel, chapter 3, that Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king, he basically he brought an image and he asked everyone to bow down to. And the three Jews, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, refused to do it. So he commanded to put them in a fire, to burn them on a stake. So it was a huge miracle in the Tanakh that they went there and nothing happened. They went to the fire and they come out and he called them Bar Elakim, that they're like sons of God. So Ken Tachaminei Eshta. So the same manner they ask that this fire of the Kadachat, of that disease, shall Lifloni Bar Plonit, name of a person, son of so and so.
Not touch them.
What? Yeah.
Not touch.
Right.
Not touch.
V'ti'arok min kadamoi, tivrach mipanav, to run away from him. Which means, by doing this type of action, hopefully you will be healed from this kadachat. So, the truth is, many rabbis said that, there's an issue with using name of God or using psukim. So they said the key point is that there is a flexion between the spiritual and the physical state. In other words, when a person suffered from physical, for example in Shema we have the equivalent of 348 and 365 and 248, which is a reflection of the limbs in the human body. So basically the rabbi said, which is a little deep, that each and every part of the body of a person is a reflection of the spiritual part. Which means a person should examine certain parts that he has pain or has issues. It's reflected to something much higher, the spiritual part involved with it. It's like, you hear it in many religions, many other groups, that they said someone has a back pain, is something related to the supporting system in his life, etc. So there's a mental state involved with the physical pain. So here, by doing all of that, it's an expression that is much higher. We try to heal the spiritual part, and in that sense is reflected also in a physical. Lesimta leimahachi, when a person have a healing boils, so let him say as follow: Bazbazya, Masmasya, Kaskasya, Sharlerai Vamalrai. This is the name of the angels that heal this type of healing boils. Ilen Malachei Ishtallacho Me'ara Disdom. This is the name of the king, the angels that came from the city of Sodom. That's what she said. He said, "Ula'asach hashchina kiivim, bazach bazich bazbazich masmasich kamon kamich." Again, this is in order to heal this type of things. They use the word of
names of angels.
Names.
Yeah.
And then kamon kamoch, einaich bir, enach bir, atrich bach, zarech kekalut וכפרדה דלא פרה ולא ערביה, כך לא תפרה ולא תרבה בגופי דפלוני בפלוני. The same way as that animal, the parrot, the mule, is not fruitful, does not multiply, so too it not increase, not multiply in the body of so and so and so and so. God forbid, if someone has a cancer, something like that is like a prayer. Prayer always can help, never hurt. So that prayer maybe do something good for the person. Avoided at least the increasing of the spread.
Cell count.
Cell count. Lechifa, if they have a wound. So they said, again, it's different lechashim, or it's a ripui ababuot, right? Leimahache, cherev shlufa, vekala netusha, which is again the drawn sword and the
slingshot.
Slingshot, thank you. Lo shmei yochev cholin machovim. Its name should not be ache, sickness and pain. Lesheida leimache. If you need to save gerush shed, to save someone from demon, so what do you need to say? Leima hachi, he should say as follows. Akarkafe da'ari, va'ause de guriata, ashkachul nashidai ba'eshirga panda. So he said, it's a lachash. You should stop up where you were, cursed, broken, and excommunicated to be the demon called Bartit. And then he said, he used the certain word Bartit, Bartameh, Bartina, Keshamgaz, Merigaz, Veistamtai. So again, it's a words, it's a shemot.
Incantation.
Yeah, incantation. Fine. In those days, there was a demons that they can see in a bathroom. Lesheida de veita kise. In order to be saved from a demon in a bathroom, leima hachi, should say akarkafe da'ari va'ause de guriata ashkachtul neshidai bar shirika panda b'meshra decharate chavtei belo adachamata chattartei. So basically he said, one has led the heart of lion and the nose of the lioness. We found the demon named Bar Shikra Panda. With the bed of leeks I filled him, and with the jaw of the donkey I struck him. So after the Talmud expanded so much with different sgulot and different names and different lechashim, so now we go back to what the Mishnah said. Uvnei melachim bezagin, and the princess may go out with bells. The same is true for anyone else. So the Gemara asks, Man Tana, who is the Tana that hold that the poor can go with this type of things in Shabbat? Maravosha Rabbi Shimoni, the Amar Kol Israel V'nei Melachim. He says all the nation of Israel are sons of king. So therefore even the poorest person is not feeling above others. He's not getting any arrogant of that. And you're not concerned that he's taken off and carrying a few cubits because he wants meanwhile to show it to his friend. Because it's nothing new for him. Therefore they allow him to go out in Shabbat. Rava Omer, Be'arig biksuto ve'kedivre akol. He said, Rava hold that the Mishnah is referring to a case where the bell is woven into his garment. Obviously, they concern that he remove, and the halacha is in the Mishnah is according with the statement of the Tanaim, not merely the statement of Rabbi Shimon. Mishnah יוצאים בבריצת החרגול ובשן של שועל ובמסמר מן הצלוב משום רפואה. The Mishnah have a special discussion about taking certain items, since we talk a lot about zgulot and about refuot, take certain items, some type of medicine on Shabbat, such as they said that a person may go out with a locust,
egg.
With egg of the locust egg, or with a fox tooth, or with a nail that from the they call here minatzaluv, which means that someone who's
crucified
in a sense. So basically, usually those people who were punished to be hung in those days, they used to put them like they did with the Haman with the sons, the same way. So they put this with a special nail, and people have believed that those nails carry a healing. So דברי רבי מאיר, מאיר said it's fine, והחכמים מוסרים אף בחול משום דרכי המורי. But the rabbis said that they not allow to use this type of remedies even during the week, due to the prohibition of follow the way of the Amorites, which is the idea of superstitions, belief, and the custom of those who which will distance ourselves from. So the sages hold that this type of healing from those things that it's not a pure and natural way, it's considering nichush, It's like making some type of a sorcery or superstitious.
Kishuf. What is
no,
the difference?
we use the word nichush.
Nichush?
Nichush. Okay, so there's a big discussion. For example, we read several weeks ago about Eliezer. Abraham sent him to find a wife for Yitzchak, and he have no clue. So he made. Excuse me. Thank you. He made some type of sign, and he said, if I sit on the certain location and I see a certain girl come in a certain way, I knew that one is going to be for Yitzchak. So it's a very big discussion. Is that permissible? Is not permissible? Allow? Not allow? Who is Eliezer? Etc. But the point is, nichush, it's you're taking something and you make something that looks like supernatural or superstitious, and you use it for all kind of other purposes. So it's like, you remember the past president, U.S. president that passed, that his wife used to call the astrologists and ask them, to open the store, not to open the store, and things like that. So the GEMARA said, Yotz'in bebetzad hachago de'avle leshichla. Right? We learn that go out with the locust egg because it's like talisman to cure the ear curd, which means that someone have an ear pain, they use it. Ubeshen shel shual de'avle leshinta. That the tooth of ox, it's good for people who have an issue with sleeping. The haya, that someone with teeth that took out of the live fox. Leman denayim, for someone who sleep too much. So in other words, you have issue of someone who either sleeping too much
or too little.
Yeah, but that's the one who sleeps too much going to catch a fox and take a live fox and take its tooth out.
I don't know if you remember. We used to have a guy came from the Naval Academy. He's now a pilot down in Florida, a TAC pilot or something like that. He was in the Naval Academy for like 4 years. He used to come every Shabbos here. So he used to come for the Sudot in my house and everything. This fellow, no names, every time I start my speech or anything, or it was like anything with the services, he was like in a second fall asleep. It's like a formula. You know the story about the couple in Queens. The wife came to a rabbi and gave him a gift, $100. Rabbi was very pleased in those days. He says, "Thank you very much for the gift. What's the occasion?" She said, "You're the best healer." So he said, "Oh, that's a very good compliment. Well, what did I do?" And she said, "Well, my husband have a very serious issues with sleeping, and we try all different doctors and nothing help. But when we come to synagogue now, and you start your speech,
guaranteed.
Leman denaim, whoever sleeps too much, right? The mita, if you take a teeth from a dead fox, leman deronayim, so it helps to someone who cannot sleep to put him to sleep. Nowadays you have those things you can go buy in the CVS, but that was the way in the ancient time. The Rashba said that the teeth of the fox, it's not really a sgula, it's they have a koach tiv'i, they have a natural way that Hashem brought. It's like, you see the same in the herbs, that they carry a certain healing for certain things. Uvemasmer min hatzaluv de'avde lezirpa, that this type of nail help for some wound that it gets very swollen, it helps.
Perhaps because it came in contact with blood, with human blood.
That's the Meiri said.
Yes, yeah, that's...
And then it come
yes. Not very pleasant, but it is a fact.
Yes, the Rashba differentiate between something that happened naturally, like the teeth of the fox, versus something that happened because of incidents by the living. He says it's two different categories. Anyway, now we talk about the Mishnah. The Mishnah said that can go in all of that mishum refuah for the medicine purposes, divrei Rabbi Meir, may hold that way, but the sages disagree. So they said, Abai veRava de'amrit Ravayu, Abai veRava, who both said, כל דבר שיש בו משום רפואה, anything that contains an element of healing and seems to be effective, he said, אין בו משום דרכי האמורי, does not contain an element of prohibition against following the way of the Amorite, which means there's no reason for suspicion for one who engage in their practice, regardless Jew or a non-Jew. Ha-אין בו משום רפואה, all of that, it's not real medicine because it's those lachash, those lying, you say, those psukim. Yesh bo mishum darkei Amori. So you tell me that they have some type of follow the path of the Amorites. So they said, V'atanya, we learn in different braita, ilan, a tree, shemashir perotav sokro. So if the tree that shed its fruits prematurely, סוקרו וצובע אותו בסיקרה וטוענו באבנים. One paints its colors with red paint and loaded with a stone. So, בישלמה טוענו באבנים כאחד אלק חוש חילה. אלא סוקרו בסיקרה מהי רפואה כעבד. Granted, it's permitted to load it with the stones because the actions produce an actual benefit. This when they strengthen the wicked. However, painting with a red paint, what healing is performing with that action? Ki heiche, as the GEMARA explain, ki heiche delicha ze ein sheva libao ale rachamei. When people will see the tree and pray for mercy on it, ki detanya, as we said, when people pray, vetameh, tameh yikra, the Torah said about a leper, someone who has a leprosy, in Leviticus 13, they said he need to call upon out loud, impure. So why? צריך להודיע צערו לרבים, ורבים יבקשו עליו רחמים. When you announce publicly, you will not keep it for yourself shyly, but you go out
and say that
clearly. So hopefully by having other people pray for him, he will heal from his leprosy. So here the same, by painting this tree in the red, it's not a nichush, it's only because they want people to know that you have these issues and they pray for him. Amar Ravina, keman talinan kuvsei bedikla. According to whom we have the idea of taking a date, right, and put it on a tree prematurely, and we don't have any concern from Darkei Amori, follow the Darkei Amori. Ki haitana. So according to that, he said the same way as a leper need to tell that sorrow in a public, so other people will pray for him. So the same apply to a palm tree when you have these issues with losing its fruits. So people will pray and that tree will be healed. Tanei Tana בפרק המוראי קמי דרבי חייא ברביד. Someone who's a very erudite in the Brightot teach this idea. Amar lei, Rabbi חייא ברביד said to him one thing, Kulu idbu mishum darkei Amori. All of this involved with that prohibition, levar mehanei, excluding these two. So he said, Mi sheyesh lo, what is allowed? Mi sheyesh lo etzem bigrono. God forbid someone is stuck in his throat and he has a bone in his throat. Or mevi etzem otamin, you bring another bone that speed. Umeniach la ad kol kodo, and he put that on the top of his head. Velema hache, and again this is lachash. He said, had nachit bala nachit chad. Again, it's go back and forth in that line. En bo mishum darkei Amori. So again, the big question is, one is considering following the idols on us, and that's not contain an element of prohibition against following the way of the Amorites, because it's a lachash. Le'idra. How about if for a fish bone stuck in the throat, God forbid, Lema ha'achei. They should say as follow. Nin'atzta kemachat, nin'alta kitris, shaya shaya. So in other words, you are stick like a needle, lactas a shadow, go down, go down.
Okay. I mentioned the word lachash, lechashim, whisper. In the ancient American Indian tradition, there was a whole set of, they called it horse whisperers. It is both to cure horses from certain illnesses, or using this kind of whispering to cure people. Later on, much later, the Jewish tradition, I believe, was the original, the first one. But the lachashim eventually transformed it or transferred itself to the ancient Slavic. They also have it in the Slavic, in the Russian tradition, whisperers, they called them, all kinds of magic words. But they openly declared it was kishuf, it was magic, which we do not necessarily support or approve.
Well, interesting in the case of the Indian horse whisperers, or the Native American horse whisperers here, was that they would essentially, where people thought it was very mystical, is they could take very wild horses,
yes,
and just without any sort of aggressive actions or strong actions, could just kind of approach them and whisper to them, and all of a sudden have pretty much
and
completely
calm them
down and completely train them. So interesting.
Yeah. Well, apparently our Chachamenu have had advanced contact with the great natural powers. There's no question about it, to me.
You remind me of a fellow that went to those places close to New York. They have a horse race, and all of a sudden he saw an observant Jew that's standing there and mumbling words and saying things, and he noticed that this guy is the winner. So he started betting. He's standing behind him, and whatever the horse, you know the story?
No.
He was betting, so he put the money. So he won once twice, and now he started playing in the big numbers, big monies. He won $5,000. Now he put the whole money again, and again he's winning. And then all of a sudden the religious man noticed that he's following him. So he bet on the horse, and all of a sudden that guy took all the money, let's say $10,000, and he bet on that horse. And all of a sudden, boom, that horse dropped dead in the middle of the running. And the guy was broken-hearted, lost all his money. Yet he saw this religious man still mumbling words. So he came close to him and he wants to hear what is the lachash, what exactly he said. He put his ear and he closed his eyes and he hear him saying, "Yitkadal v'yitkadash mei rabah." Haomer gdi gdi v'sanuk de lo ashkei uvushki. 67b. So if someone said, I have the fortune, my fortune, the fortune, v'sanuk lo ashkei uvushki, which means that they're not worried by day, not by night. Yesh bo mishum darkei emori. So they contain the way that the Amorites had. Rabbi Yehuda said, Gad eno ela lashon avodah zara, sheneemar haorchin lagad shulchan. He says that Gad, it's a language of the worshipping idolatry. Because there's a sentence of Isaiah that said, who is a prepare a table for God, which is offer mingled wine in a full measure of many. Hu bishma vehi bishmo, yesh bo mishum darkei emori. It's a husband and wife that changed the wife's name and used his name for good fortune. It's contained elements of the way of Amorites. It's like, you see a black cats and all kind of things that is Amorite. Donu Dani, one who said, let my barrels be strengthened, yesh bo mishum darkei emori, the contained element, the way of the Amorites. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Dan lashon avodah zara, Dan is the language of idolatry, sheneemar hanishba'im b'ashmat shomron mamru chei elokecha Dan. It's a book of Amos that he said that those who swear by the sin of Samaria, and he said, as you God Dan leaves. האומר לעורב צרח ולעורב את השריקה והחזיך לזנבך לטובה יש במדור כערכים מורי. If one who heard the raven calling and is concerned about the bad omen, and he said to the raven, scream, and said to the female raven, whistle, and turn your toll to me for the best. So again, it's the way of the Amorite. האומר שחטו תרנגול זה שקרא ערבית, ותרנגולת שקרא גברית, יש בו משום דרכי אמורי. If one said, slaughter this rooster, that call out in the evening and said, slaughter the chicken, and call out like the male rooster, again in that element. אשתך ואותיר, I'll drink and live over, etc. And that his wine will increase, again the same, יש בו שום דרכי אמורי. המבקעת ביצים בכותל ויתח בפני האפרוחים, יש בו משום דרכי אמורי. One who cracks egg on a wall and smear them in front of the chicks, again, it's contained that element. והמגיס בפני אפרוחים, one who steers the part in front of the chicks, again, יש בו משום דרכי אמורי. המרקד והמונה 71 אפרוחים בשלוש לא ימותו, יש בו משום דרכי אמורי. A woman who dances and counts the chicks until she reaches the number of 71 chicks, so they won't die. That issue, the path of Amorite. המרקדת לכותח, woman who danced in shul the kutach, is a spice made from the salt and bread. She prepared, will be successful. והמשתקת לאנשים, and woman who silence bystander to ensure that the lentil will cook properly. והמצווחת לגריסין, and women that scream to ensure the pearl barley will cook properly. יש בו משום דרכי אמורי. It's the path of the Amorites. It's like idol.
And from here on there is only one step. Later on in East European superstition, when a woman all of a sudden started speaking with a voice of a man, they call it a dibuk has entered into her, or the opposite. Also, when a man began to speak with the voice of a woman, like a chicken was speaking with the voice of a rooster. It is that this kind of very.
I remember hearing once from Rabbi Shvadron, the big Yerushalmi speaker, about incidents like that in a dibuk, that the voice came out of woman that sounds like
a man's voice. Yeah.
המשתל בפני גדרתך בשביל שתתבשל מהרה, יש בו משום דרכי אמורי. Woman who urinate in front of her pot, so it will cook quickly. Same. אבל נותנים קיסם של דוד בשברי שכוחים בגדרה בשביל שתתבשל מהרה, וכן מוסרים בשברי שכוחים מפני הסכנה. But one may put a chip in mulberry wood and share off a glass in the pots that will cook quickly. So by doing so is effective and not merely superstition. The rabbi prohibited to share the glass, but the key is because to do the danger involved in the glass and not strain out completely. תנו רבנן דסייג'ס תותין התוספתא, נותנים בול של מלח לתוך נר בשביל שתאיר ותדליק. One may place a lump of salt into a candle so it will burn brightly, which is so effective that it's not a good fortune. ונותנים טיט וחרסית תחת נר בשביל שתמתין ותדליק, and they put mud or clay under the candle so it will burn longer. אמר מרב זוטרא, היימן דמיכסה שרגא דמישחא ומגלה נפתא. He said, who is covered an oil lamp or who uncovers a kerosene, which is this type of lamp for no purpose, he violated the violation, kava mishum bal tashchid. The Torah said, do not destroy, since by doing it, the fuel burns more quickly. Concluding of the parak, chamra v'chayei lefum rabanan. One who says, while drinking wine and life to the mouth of the sages, אין בו משום דרכי האמורי. It's not fall in the category of the way of the Amorite. מעשה ברבי עקיבא שעשה משתה לבנו. There was an incident with the great Rabbi Akiva that made a banquet for his son. ועל כל כוס וכוס שהביא אמר, חמרה וחיי לפום רבנן, חרי וחמרה לפום רבנן ולפום תלמידון. Over in each and every cup he brought, and he said, wine and life to the mouth of the sages, wine and life to the mouth of the sages and to the mouth of the students. So he basically, you see that he used it, if Rabbi Akiva used it in such a way, so it's not considering a Gamori. And the Maharsha dealt why he used it in a certain way, why he used it specifically in this way. כל דבר שיש בו משום רפואה anything that contains an element of healing. The Rambam, Hilchot Shabbat, chapter 19, Shulchan Aruch Shin Aleph, 301, a particular remedy that is tested and found effective is not included in the prohibition against the way of the Amorite. Bazagin ba'arig b'schuto. One may go out on Shabbat with bells woven into the fabric of a garment. If they are not woven into the fabric, is prohibited, unless they are attached to the garment in a standard manner. That's what the Rava said. One may go out with the locust eggs, or with the fox tooth, or with a nail from the crucified both on Shabbat and during the week. This is based on the version of Rabbi Yossi's statement in Jerusalem Talmud. The halacha is according to the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. Even the Babylon Talmud discussion resolved around the linear opinion, the further indication that the halacha is according to the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. Next one, we said v'tameh tameh ikra, and cry the leper impure. Lepers and others who are ritually impure must announce that they are impure to enable others to keep the distance from them. That's the Rambam Hilchot Tahara, chapter 10. And lehavdil, it's like they require nowadays to, if someone, God forbid, have HIV, he wants everyone to know. The last halacha, because otherwise it can be transmitted. Shachatu tarnegol ze, it is prohibited to say slaughter this rooster and call it arvit, which can be interpreted either as the rooster who called like a raven, or a rooster who is called like an evening, or slaughter is this chicken who called it a rooster. There are authorities who permit this situation if one does not explicitly state the reason for his desire to slaughter the birds. That's Shulchan Aruch Yoredea 179. Hadran lach v'mei isha v'edrach alan, natan lach v'mei isha v'natan lach lo nitne shem minach darkei isha lo nitne shem minach lo ba'al ma'aden v'la b'nei. We say that we're going in Mitzvah Shem to revisit this parak.
es Hashem